Welcome back to Heads Up SA, your go-to channel for unpacking South Africa's political drama. Because in this country, if it's not chaotic, it's probably just a public holiday. Today we are diving into spicy world of land expropriation. Yep, President Cyril Ramaphosa has signed the land expropriation bill, and the reactions are as divided as Eskom's load shedding schedule. So, what's the deal with this bill? Well, it repeals the old school 1975 apartheid law and outlines how the state can expropriate land in the public interest. But, and this is a big but, it still involves negotiating with landowners first. Think of it as trying to buy prime meat from a butcher who doesn't want to sell, and you are only offering monopoly money.
There's nothing that this law is going to do that you could not do before without it. So it's a completely useless piece of legislation.
This makes a mockery of the public participation process.
Misleading the people.
He is creating an artificial separation. This expropriation bill seeks to implement Section 25.
That's
even
what the president's statement says that. It complements Section 25.
Enter the EFF. Malema and the crew have been saying from day one, land must be expropriated without compensation. None of this negotiating nonsense. To them, it's just delaying the inevitable.
I am not happy about the speech of yesterday, but today I'm feel great because of the land. He talked about the land, so that
we are not satisfied about the government for keep on promising our people that we're gonna have jobs, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have this. It's not we're not gonna tolerate that.
We are very much glad that the CIC talked about the dignity, that we need dignity by the return of land.
We reject this with contempt because it provides no radical departure from the past arrangement and systems. These are just cosmetic amendments and changes made by the Grand Coalition of the ANC and the DA to pretend as if they're busy with something, whereas they are engaged in activities of misleading our people with the belief that they are doing something.
MK party, they are also against this bill, but with a twist. They want the land returned to recognize kings and queens.
We have to amend the law. This is why at MK we're not doing land grab. We're saying let's do this thing lawfully. Let's amend Section 25. This is why for us we think the issue of getting two-thirds majority is key, so that we can amend the Section 25, because land, nobody came from Europe with this land. They found the land here. So the expropriation without compensation must happen. The land must return back to its owners, the kings and queens of this country, that where the land was taken from.
Meanwhile, in the corner of the ring, the Government of National Unity is throwing shade at the bill. The DA and the Freedom Front Plus are like, we'll see you in court, Cyril. The DA calls it unconstitutional, and Freedom Front Plus leader Peter Groenewald says they will do everything in their power to protect property rights. By everything, we are guessing that includes some strongly worded tweets. But wait, Mzwana Lemanye, MK Party's chief whip, isn't done. He's fuming about Section 25, especially subsection 7. Apparently, it dates dispossession back to 1913 instead of 1652, when Jan van Riebeeck set foot. According to Manye, 1913, aibo. That's like starting the movie 10 minutes before the credits roll.
25 subsection 7. The one that pushes the date back. The resolution of the ANC doesn't deal with this. This is the corner. This is what the MK party is raising. Brand new discussion to say backdate this thing to 1652. That's a new discussion, and I'm saying the bill is already almost on the table. I don't know, maybe we should ask him if they'll support this bill, because our bill is going to be clear. We're taking it to 1652, and we're doing it without compensation, and we're going to use the model of the MPRDA. So it's like it's been done before. By the way, people that live in Waterfall are living in an environment that is what the MK is saying. In Waterfall, nobody in Waterfall, an upmarket area, nobody there has got a title deed. in Waterfall. I don't know if you know this. Whether it's your residential area, whether it's business, everybody's leasing. So MK party is doing, let's do a waterfall model for the entire country. Why is this complicated?
Former Eguruleni Mayor Mzwandile Masina is defending the bill, claiming there's a clause allowing the government to expropriate abandoned land without compensation. Manyi calls it fiction. Who's telling the truth here? Maybe Mzwandile found a secret appendix nobody else read.
Look, there is mechanism, there's dispute mechanism that has been provided for, which was not there in the previous act. So we'll approach those, because remember, a constitutional democracy, we're not just going to do things as that's why the push for the amendment of the Section 25 in the whole is a second and the most important step that we must take.
You still need to negotiate with the property owner.
Look, we've got mechanism now that have been provided for in law, including going the mediation route to ensure that we can find each other as long as we can prove public interest.
Isn't this the same as the willing buyer and willing seller? You still have to sit down with people who may tell you that you're talking nonsense. Get out of here, I don't agree with you. Or if you want to even pay, they say, that's too little. That's going to take forever. And then, is it going to work?
Clement, we are repealing the law here, which was very specific in terms of, it was about apartheid, adding powers to themselves about what they can do and cannot do. So what this bill does, it reduces or it repeals exactly those provisions that were made in the past.
Clement,
so where we are going, just if you may,
sure.
So where we are going, I'm saying that what President has signed will in a way assist us to move a step further in terms of transformation, and I'm certain that it gives us even a much more way to be emboldened to move ahead and ensure that we move to implement the resolution of the African National Congress.
Yeah, there's no, I mean, he is creating an artificial separation. This expropriation bill seeks to implement Section 25.
That's even what the President's statement says that. It complements Section 25.
In fact, the Constitution says legislation must be put into place to give effect to what is happening there. Which is
the ANC, meanwhile, is playing mediator, saying they are open to progressive discussions with parties like the EFF and MK, because nothing says progress like a 10-year debate over whether 1652 or 1913 is the starting point for fixing 400 years of injustice. ATM leader Vuyo Zungula says this whole thing is a mockery of public participation. He's not wrong. It's like ordering pizza and only getting the crust. Also, he agrees with the MK party, start at 1652, not 1913. Fair enough, because 1652 where the land story begins. But 1913 is when it got legally messy.
The party, we believe that, this makes a mockery of the public participation process, where citizens joined the committees of parliament, and the citizens were communicating a very clear message to say land expropriation without compensation. Firstly, as a party, we believe that any discussion about land expropriation without compensation must start from the 6th of April when Jan van Riebeeck landed in South Africa, 1652, because now the cutoff date in terms of some of these legislation that have been brought about by the government only starts at 1913, whereas bulk of the land dispossession took place before then. And
so where does this leave us? Well, the ANC says the bill is a step forward. The EFF says it's a step backward. The MK says, why are we stepping at all? Just give it to the kings. And the DA and the Freedom Front Plus are already heading to court faster than you can say litigation. What do you think, South Africa? Is this bill a step in the right decision, or are we just jogging in circles? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like and share. Subscribe to Heads Up SA, because you are not laughing, you are probably crying at the state of the nation. See you next time.